We know that anybody who is found guilty of breaking any rule in the UK pays the full price for it. It doesn't matter whether you're ignorant or not. As a matter of fact, ignorance is not even an excuse because the UK takes their laws very seriously. We have seen that play out over and over again. Some I've discussed on my channel, some you might have heard on the news. Some have been deported, some lost their visa status, some were jailed, and a lot more others that we have seen and heard about. And recently, another woman has been found guilty for something she did ignorantly. She didn't even know it was an offense. So what exactly did she do? Let's go into the details in today's video. So please stick around with me because you really want to hear this. Every migrant, everybody in the UK really needs to watch this video. My name is Tochi. Welcome to my channel. Please like this video, give it a thumbs up as you're watching so YouTube can recommend it to more people, and kindly share it to everyone that needs to hear this. So all my returning subscribers, you guys are amazing. You're welcome back to today's video, and if you're yet to subscribe, please do so right now. Click on the subscribe button. Thank you. Before I continue, I'd love to tell you all about LemFi. LemFi is a reliable app that allows residents of the UK, Canada, US, and Europe. So any part of Europe that you are, you can actually send money to Africa to your loved ones for free with LemFi. Okay, I've been using LemFi for a while now, and I can guarantee you that it's very fast, it's easy to use, it's secured, and it's absolutely free. And guess what? They have the best rates you can find in the market, so you always get your complete value for money. So to get started, you can download the app with my referral link in the description box. You get £7 cash back on your first transactions above £50. Alternatively, you can download the app directly from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store and use my code Tochi to benefit from this offer. So hurry now, download the LemFi app if you haven't already and start sending money to your loved ones for free. And don't forget to use my code Tochi. So guys, remember the case of the young lady who came to the UK on a skilled worker visa. In fact, she came to work as a care assistant, and even before she resumed her work, she was found by the Home Office selling in a shop, and that was how it was saying that she was volunteering, she was doing extra work, she wasn't supposed to do it and all of that, and then she was deported just like that. Now another one has happened. Another woman recently has just been convicted, and guess what she did? So this UN judge was said to have abused and exploited her maid. Okay, UN judge exploited and abused woman she forced into slavery. Lydia Mugambe, 49, was found guilty of forcing someone to work and conspiring to breach UK immigration law. So this woman, in summary, this woman is a judge. Okay, she's from Uganda. She came to the UK to study, and she brought her maid from Uganda. Okay, she brought her to help her with stuff in the UK. You know how we do it back at home. You have domestic staff, people working for you, nannies, drivers, gardeners, and all of that. Okay, so I think she actually thought that she could do that here in the UK as well. So she applied for her maid back home to join her in the UK and continue doing exactly the same thing that she used to do for her back home. So Lydia Mugabe, 49, took advantage of her status over the victim in the most egregious way by preventing her from holding down steady employment and forcing her to work as her maid and to provide childcare without payment, prosecutors said. This lady happens to be her maid back in Uganda, and she also brought her to do the same thing here in the UK, not knowing that you cannot do such a thing in the UK. If you must employ anybody, you have to pay the person the full minimum wage, more than the minimum wage. We know that, we know what the minimum wage is. Okay, so there's a minimum, there's a standard minimum salary you can pay anybody that is working in the UK. So once you're employing somebody to work for you, you have to pay the person what is due to the person. And then the UK also have a law that every child must be in school. Every child is entitled to be educated in the UK. And this lady is also a high court judge in Uganda. She was found guilty on Thursday of conspiring to facilitate the commission of a breach of UK immigration law, facilitating travel with a view to exploitation, forcing someone to work, and conspiracy to intimidate a witness after a trial at Oxford Crown Court. Caroline Huggy, prosecuting, told jurors during the trial, Lydia Mugabe has explained and abused the victim, taking advantage of her lack of understanding of her rights to properly paid employment and deceiving her as to the purpose of her coming into the UK. So jurors accepted the prosecution's case that Mugabe, who was studying for a law PhD at the University of Oxford, has engaged in illegal folly by arranging for the young woman, who cannot be named for legal reasons, to come to the UK. So guys, we understand that there are people who really don't want to move to the UK because of all of these things. You know how you are back in Africa, you have helps, you have nannies, you have chefs, drivers, and all of that. You know, a lot of people just want to continue staying in Africa for that. They don't want to move to the UK because they know that coming to the UK, you have to do all of those things by yourself. So some people they don't like the idea of coming here to do all those things by yourself. So that's why when you ask such people, they tell you they don't want to move to the UK because of, you know, all the luxury they're enjoying back at home. Okay, so I think probably this woman did not know that she can't do such a thing in the UK. So she felt, okay, yes, I'm coming to the UK to study. I need to come with my maid. I can't do stuff myself. I'm not used to doing stuff myself, whatever her reasons are. But yeah, she actually applied for her to join her and continue being her maid in the UK. I really don't know what she was thinking. And she says she's a high court judge, you know. I really don't know what was in her mind. I really don't know what she told the young lady as well, what the lady was coming to do in the UK, because they said that the lady was deceived, right? She deceived the young lady, you know, lying to her what she was coming to do in the UK, only for her to come to become a maid, to be exploited and treated unfairly and all of that. So Mugabe denied forcing the young Ugandan woman to do household chores and said she always treated her with love, care, and patience. The trial held that Mugabe had the intention of obtaining someone to make her life easier and at the least possible cost to herself. Mugabe denied forcing the young Ugandan woman to do household chores and said she always treated her with love, care, and patience. But the young woman had told the court she felt lonely and stuck because her working hours elsewhere were limited, right? So I guess the young lady came and said something else, and Mugabe is saying something else, and we all know the position of the UK on cases like this. Like, what was she even thinking? This is something that could have been avoided. Guys, what do you think about this in the comment section? You're only coming to study, you're a high court judge. It's just for a while. It's not going to take long. After studying, you will go back and continue being your judge, continue having your maids and your house helps and nannies and everything. But you just insisted that you still had to bring somebody to become a maid for you in the UK. Like, guys, how do we even think sometimes? And then I don't know all the promises and whatnot that she told the lady, you know, everything how she had to convince the lady. And the lady might even be happy, oh, I'm coming to the UK, you know, that excitement of somebody bringing you to the UK, applying for you and everything. And, you know, only to come here and discover that actually you're actually not meant to be doing this. Who knows the age of the lady? Maybe the lady was even supposed to be in school, or even if she's working, she's supposed to be paid very, very well. Okay, but she didn't get all of that and it became an issue. So Hoge told the court on her arrival, she was made to work for Lydia Mugabe from the very start, unremunerated and acting as maid and for childcare to give Mugabe back her life. Right? Obviously, she came to the UK and she now had to start doing things by herself. The things that people used to do for her back at home, she now started doing those things by herself. And she figured, oh, I actually had a maid back at home. I mean, I could judge, high class lady. I have to get people. I had people working for me. So why not transfer those people to come here and work for me? I have the money. I can do that. And then, and that was how she got herself into trouble. So in footage of her arrest released, right, Mugabe appeared shocked when an officer said he was arresting her under the Modern Slavery Act. She then had a conversation with the officer in which she said, I am a judge in my country. I even have immunity. I am not a criminal. Asked to reaffirm that she had immunity, she told the officer, yes, I have a diplomatic passport. And according to her profile on the UN website, Mugabe was appointed to the body's judicial roster in May 2023, 3 months after police were called to her address in Oxfordshire. Mugabe will be sentenced on the 2nd of May. So according to BBC, any immunity Mugabe may have enjoyed as a UN judge has been waived by the Office of the United Nations Secretary General. This is just a part of the video where she was trying to defend herself and, exonerate herself from everything that is happening or that has happened.
So unfortunately, I'm going to have to now arrest you on suspicion of keeping somebody in slavery and servitude under the Modern Slavery Act. So you don't have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned, something which later on in court, anything you do say may be used as evidence. All right. Sorry?
I am a judge in my country. I even have immunity. I am not a criminal.
You've got immunity in this country?
Yes. I have a diplomatic passport.
You're a diplomat?
Yes.
So we'll need to see that then.
Yes.
And then we'll need to speak to the embassy if you are a diplomat.
I came here as a student. I don't need her to work for me. I didn't come with her. She asked me because she has worked at my home before. She asked me.
So guys, what do you think about all of this in the comment section? Because to me, when I saw this news, I was like, the audacity, that was even what came to my head, like, wow, she really has guts. This is only for a while. Can't you just endure and do these things, whatever it is? Do them yourself. When you go back, you continue enjoying your privilege of having, people, staff, and everybody working for you. Why did you have to bring somebody to come and continue being a maid here? So now they're saying she's guilty of forcing a woman to work as her slave. Because yeah, the woman was said to be working for her free of charge. She's not paying her. She's doing childcare for free. And we all know the cost of childcare in this country is very expensive. If you want to pay people to take care of your children, you have to pay very, very well. I don't even know the conditions, whether she's even still treating her the way she was treating her back home. For her to have even tried to defend herself, that she's treating her with love and care and patience and everything, probably they even found something. And for them to have even found her out, for them to have discovered that this is what she was doing with this lady, something must have happened, something must have gone wrong somewhere, so who knows how she was even treating the lady. You did not stop at treating the person the way you're treating them back home. You had to bring that same bad character to the UK to continue doing the same thing. Like, what gods? She really has gods. Had to have applied for this lady to come join her, spend so much money, bring her, paid for flights, paid for visa, paid for everything for her to come and join her. Like, she really had thought everything out really well. Like, come and continue your maid duties. Let me rest as the judge that I am. I'm not supposed to do anything. As the queen that I am, I'm not supposed to do anything. I'm not supposed to lift a finger. Like, she even said to come and make her life easier because the UK has stressed her. UK has turned her to a nanny, a maid, everything. She's not supposed to be doing that. She's supposed to be a queen. So obviously from this video we saw, she didn't even know that it was wrong for her to have done such a thing, and she was not supposed to do it. According to her, she was even doing the lady a favor or something like that. Right? So maybe everybody that is doing the same thing doesn't even know that what they are doing is not good, but it is what it is. If you breach a law, if you breach a rule, if you are found guilty, you pay the full price of it. It doesn't matter whether you know that what you were doing was wrong or what you were doing was right. So long as you were found guilty, you will be convicted. Somebody that came to the UK to study, something that you're supposed to just study and go back home and continue doing your judge work, you now want to end up in UK prison. This is bad. So I'm sure this has also served as a lesson to us, because we always have one or two lessons to take from cases like this. Like I always say, don't let your case be the one that people would have to learn from. Right? So let us learn from this, and everybody just try and stay safe, stay away from immigration troubles, and stick to the rules and conditions of your visa. Just read it thoroughly. Once you get started, read it very well, internalize it, bring it out sometimes again, go through it if you've forgotten, to remind yourself to stick to the rules, to the conditions of your visa at all times, and just try to stay away from trouble. Because it pays in the long run. This is not Africa. This is the UK. They have different ways that they do things. They have their laws. They have their rules. It's their country, their rules. And for you to have agreed to come and live in their country, you have to stick by the rules and regulations of the country. This is not an immigration advice of any form. This does not replace an expert advice if you need one. This is just me sharing this for information purpose to let you guys know what's going on, and and to share this news with you that have been published already, you know, so that we all can learn one or two from it, right? So yeah, that is it for today's video. Thank you everyone for watching. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.